a lot of people think when you're your own boss, like, okay, it's easier, but
Less
actually
work.
you work
It's
more.
hard.
You work more
Yeah.
because 9 to 5. You work 9 to 5. Your own
Oh.
business, you work 24/7
all the time. Yeah.
all the time. I'm sure you've had obviously long nights, early mornings,
Right.
no breaks. So let me ask you: the people that you employ, are they your friends or families?
No,
or,
ever.
because
No
that's
friends.
hard because they're gonna be like, oh, it's my homegirl,
No,
like
ever.
I can come in late, I
Yeah.
can ski. Because so the people that when I was there like last year, they were your friends or they were like just employees?
No, just employees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like that's even harder having those people around you,
Right.
and then you got to be tough on them, and they're like, oh, friends and family especially.
Right.
It's hard.
And then they
Yeah.
take it personal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're like,
they-
oh, like, I've known you for years. Come on,
How
hook
you
me
do
up.
that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone at work yesterday about it that he was talking about how some employees were complete garbage, but they were buddies with like the big boss.
Ah.
So then they're like,
Oh.
it's frustrating because like you bring them on, and if they're not producing the way that you expect them to, but you're cool with them, like now you don't even want to fire them, or you look for excuses to keep them, even though you know they're not being productive. Like, how can I get rid of them? Like, I go out with them all the time, we hang out. It's
Right.
now it kind of hurts you because you know that you can sever a friendship
Right.
because of a business decision as well.
Right.
But then, like, why hire them if?
Yeah,
You
well,
know
maybe
what I
they're
mean?
like in a place
Yeah.
of need. They need a job. They just got fired. I don't know. So you do it to help them.
In good faith.
In good faith, and then at the end of the day, it's like, what do you do because you don't want to break
Yeah.
that friendship? Yeah. So I've learned not from me, but from my dad that has a business. My sister, like, don't work with family because I see how it is. Like, you take the fights home, and you don't want that,
you don't want to
know?
ruin, like,
Yeah.
maintain the relationship you have with them.
Right. So no.
I had a question for Chris. How is
Yeah.
it dating or being in a relationship with someone who is like a hustler, a go-getter, in terms of like that dynamic that you guys have at even that comes home, like how is that? Because there's a lot of guys who like, okay, I want to date somebody who stays at home or who,
Cooks, cleans,
yeah,
has everything
that kind of
tidy,
thing.
yeah.
No,
But
yeah.
but you're like a go-getter, so like a hustler.
Yeah.
How does that impact the relationship?
So I think it definitely has to do with the other person. So if, let's say, if obviously Gianni's up here and I'm down here, then we're obviously not the same. So we're obviously going to clash a lot. But if we're both have the right mentality and I understand what she's trying to accomplish, then I'm going to be a lot more understanding, and I'm going to try to help her. So I think the dynamic is just, bro, I like to make money. I like, I have my own business now, which at the beginning I didn't understand. Like, she would always tell me, she's like, there's nothing like having your own business. And you don't understand what it is until you have it. It's like when they tell you like that you don't know what having a kid is. Like you're never gonna love a
Parents
kid.
always tell you that.
And we don't know that, but I can assure you that it's the same thing as a business. Like she would tell me, she's like, hey, having a business is the best thing. Being able to dictate your own time, but it's a lot harder than having a job. So, and I'm like, I've always like I didn't really believe her, but I saw that she was very happy. And so
I think my mood changed, like, because remember I told you I
drastically.
would wake up and cry. I
Yeah.
hated going to
Drastically.
work.
So and seeing that she was like so happy and so energized and so pumped, I'm like, I was so happy for her, and that made me kind of like love her differently, in a way of like, damn, like I want to support her. I want to help her out in whatever she needs. So I think that creates another certain type of love.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm
Yeah.
seeing that because it's not so much of like, oh yeah, I love you for this. It's like I love you so much that I want to make sure that I catch you when you fall. I want to
Like, I want to pour into your cup.
right.
Yes,
like I want to
yes,
continue.
yes,
Yeah, like
yeah.
that.
And that's like real, genuine love and care for the human. for that
Selfless.
person. Selfless.
Yeah.
Because I want to see you do good no matter
Yeah,
what.
exactly.
And if that means you're working 60, 70 hours a week, what can I do to help you sustain that?
Exactly.
And that's great.
And right
Yeah.
now, obviously, I do photography, so obviously I help her out with her content here and there, just because right now I'm like
so
very
busy.
busy. Like
Yeah.
it's incredible, but I still try to like help her out and give her like creative, direction in a way to like, hey, we should do this, we should do that. So now that's how I help her out.
Right.
Now.
And I think, like, more to your question, like, how do we handle things at home because we're both so busy? I think we kind of, like, the good thing is we're very 50-50 at home. Like, if he gets home first, he'll put a pot of rice to cook, and then he'll cook type thing.
Nice.
If I get home first, then I'll do it. Like, it's more like a balance. I know have some friends in relationships that the guy doesn't even like put one sock to wash. Like they have to be.
Doesn't even know how to
It's a
boil
girl's
water.
job.
Yeah, it's the girl's job and they're
Yeah.
not doing that. Like, I think that's probably what's helped us out a lot is the fact that we're very
Yeah, if she
50,
does
50 and
she
he
does the
doesn't like that,
laundry,
which
like
is good.
I'm cleaning the floors, you know.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like because I'm like, you know, if I'm out putting in the same amount of work or like as
Yeah.
you are, then we have to put in the same amount of work equally at home,
At
you
home.
know. So if like imagine if we can both clean the house, you know how fast it would be.
Yeah, and we, you know,
Let's do it.
and we do it quick. I think
Yeah.
it's having the same mentality,
Teamwork in a way.
and,
Yeah.
and that is crucial when it comes to a relationship. Like I feel like I've been able to learn. Like she hasn't had that many relationships, but I feel like I've had
A lot.
a lot of relationships. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like no, you know, and it's good. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I feel like now I understand. Like every time we have an argument or every time I'm very like I love to talk to her, you know, and like not fight, but try to understand each other. And I don't think if I didn't have those relationships, that I wouldn't be able to understand at this point.
Right.
So
Because
Yeah.
he's always had relationships, so he knows how to communicate and like all those things. Like I've never
He's
really
been through all that.
yeah, dude.
Hardship.
yeah, and it's like at least before him, like I've never really been a relationship type of girl. Like I'll have a fling here 6
Yeah.
months, a little something here, another 8 months. But I was never in like a 2-3 year, then another 2-3 year. Like
Right.
I've just always enjoyed being single. And but it comes like then when you actually commit to someone, there's some barriers in a way because you don't know
Yeah,
what
you have
it's
to
like.
learn.
It's kind of like a learning.
It's a learning
you know?
experience, and if you don't have those relationships, if you don't have, because each
Right.
relationship teaches you something.
Absolutely.
So let's say, you know, you've had a couple relationships and you've learned throughout the way, right?
Yeah, what
Then you're
works, what
able-
I shouldn't do, what I
Yeah.
should do.
Then you're able to answer those questions, because if she has a problem with me, basically I need to answer that, right? So, or if I have a problem with her, then she needs to, you know, explain to me and to just kind of like diffuse everything.
Yeah.
So I feel the more experienced you are in everything, then you're able to work through those barriers more.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
you
I mean,
know,
experience
I
is
like
your
that.
best teacher,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
it's like people can tell you, hey, the pot is hot, but
Yeah.
until you touch it, you're like,
You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let me not do that again. You know, so it's the more that you're exposed to, and that's why I tell a lot of people that you need to date often, because if you don't like to date or you want to just stick with one person, which that's also fine.
Yeah.
But you're also now kind of holding yourself back on your own development, because unless you really go through a lot of different experiences with that same person, you're never going to be learning how to pretty much approach.
Right.
So when you date a lot of different people, and I'm not saying all at the same time, but just to make sure that
No,
you're
right.
exposing yourself and not blocking off because like, oh, I don't want to meet people, or
Right.
everyone's trash, or no, this and that. Like
Yeah.
you have to expose yourself to that in order for you to say, well, I don't like how this is. I used to deal with this whole time when this has been out there. Like you have to get into the position for you to
Right.
actually be like, okay, now I know what I want. Now I know who I am. Now
For
I know what to
sure.
look for.
And I think the worst thing that you can do, I mean, in my opinion, is being with someone for so long. Like you've only had one person,
Mm-hmm.
and then you don't know what it is to date anybody else. You don't have any other experiences, and
Yeah.
then you're 35 years old, you're 40 years old, and then you're like, well, I want to experience the world now.
Right.
Then it's like, ooh, like you have like, dude, like you have kids now, like you
Yeah.
have, you know,
I mean,
Yeah.
like
I don't think that's bad if the person you're with, you're experiencing those new things, because what happens
Right.
is people will then stay stuck
But that's
in
what I'm
a
talking about.
toxic or
Complacent.
unhealthy
Talking about.
relationship
Yeah.
because they're complacent, comfortable.
Right.
So now you're just dealing with the same person, and then when you're 35, you're like, why the hell am I even with this person?
Right. No,
And
I
look
mean,
how
if
invested
if you're happy, you can't control it. You're
True.
happy, and then
Right.
40 years old, you know, something drastic happens, and you guys got to break up. That's understandable. I'm
Right.
talking about if you stay stuck in a toxic relationship or in a
or
relationship,
forcing a relationship
right?
that
Or if
shouldn't
you're like,
even.
damn, I don't really want to be with her, or like you guys, you know. Like
I
you guys
guess.
don't, yeah, okay, I guess we're together, you know, and then it's like you're 40 years old, and it's like, okay, then we don't want to, like,
Yeah,
what,
you
what
wanna
the
Why
hell
did
are
live
we
we-
doing?
life.
Yeah.
Like you want to live what you didn't live in your 20s,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
So
I think you got to take ownership of your life.
Yeah.
And make the tough decisions, because the tough decisions are the ones that are going to give you the greatest rewards.
Yeah.
I think.
I think the problem with what a lot of people have is they're in these relationships, and it's it's not like toxic relationships, unhealthy relationships, just from one day to another. It takes time, and then sometimes people don't even realize that they're in that unhealthy relationship because that's all they know, especially after years. So it's like this is how I'm supposed to feel, right? To going back to what you were saying, this is normal. I don't know what a healthy relationship is like because I haven't been in one.
I thought I was in one the whole time when
I thought this is normal.
And then why is this person not doing the same thing?
Exactly.
And this is actually healthy. And then now toxicity is all you know, and now you push away healthy because it's uncomfortable to you because all you've known is this toxicity of a relationship.
Exactly.
I think you should definitely, if somebody's thinks that it's in a toxic relationship or they're not as happy and they're like, and then they have to question themselves and be like, am I in a toxic relationship? I think that's time for you to do like pros and cons. Like make a little list. Make a little list and be like, okay, so what are my pros and cons?
Yeah.
And bro, if your cons are heavy,
yeah,
then you're in a toxic
That
relationship.
is
true.
I'm sorry.
Like once you put everything on paper, I
Yeah.
bet that's when you're like, this is what I'm fighting for.
Yeah, but then I guess people we make excuses all the time, and we
Right.
try to make excuses for other people. We make excuses for ourselves, like, oh no, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow because whatever, and you procrastinate. And I think it comes, with the relationships, we make excuses for the other person. Oh no, but she had this problem. Oh no, because she had this problem. It's good if it happens a couple times and then you're like understanding, but then if it happens all the time, then that's just her, bro. Like you're not gonna listen. You will not change anybody.
Yeah, and
you cannot change anybody.
That's a huge problem sometimes because you, like, let's say when you first start dating someone, it's usually really good, and then when the bad comes,
Right.
it's like, okay, well, maybe something happened, and then but if it starts to occur often, now you just create excuses for them, and then it's like, what we had was good. Right now, it's not.
trash.
If this is what I have and this is what I'm going forward, like, you want to fight for it, but you also don't want to beat a dead horse and say, well, is it going to be the relationship we had? Is it going to get better than this? Or is literally where we at now? So we're like, a lot of people will fight for that bad relationship, expecting it to one day go back to how it started.
Right.
When, this is your reality now.
bro.
Yeah.
And instead of fighting for it, maybe it's time to leave. But on the other side is, you don't want to leave too early because you're not willing to fight or support for your partner.
Then you don't care that
So
much.
there's that balance. There's like a threshold you got to reach where it's like, is it that this person, I'm helping them, or that they need support, or is this just who they really are and now they're just killing the relationship from within?
The way I see it is if it's all about effort. If you guys having those conversations and this other person is trying and is adapting, is learning, then okay, like there's potential for growth and overcoming. Everybody has these situations in life where they might not be the best person. Maybe you're the toxic person, right? Maybe you're the one who's exhibiting unhealthy, dating habits, right? When you're in a relationship. And that self-awareness, you have to be understanding of that.
Yeah.
So when you're dating somebody and you can have these emotional intelligence is also very important. You have to be able to know who you are. And we always take care about other people and working out and being healthy. Take care of your mind and take care of like your dating habits and how you act with this person. Right. And if you were somebody can reciprocate that, okay, now you have room for growth. If not, that might be a time for you to
Going back to that, Marvin.
Yeah.
I think communication is key. I know it sounds very cliche when people say it's like, oh, you got to communicate. But I think presenting the problems, I think, is key. Like you can ask her, there's not one thing that passes by, like over my head, that bothers me that I don't tell her. Like and that's when the whole thing of having relationship comes into a key. Like
he's really good at communicating, but I'm not. Like I get frustrated and then I
and
close
that's
it
and that's
I'm like,
okay.
Don't talk to me.
And that's okay because I'm understanding enough to bring it to the table and then be like, okay, so we're gonna talk about it, and we end up talking about it. And then I feel like it creates a. I don't know how to explain it. Like I know it sounds very cliche, right? Communicating, but dude, just tell her what the problem is.
Yeah.
Present it to her, no matter how bad it is. Like, she has a friend that you don't like, that they talk to each other or whatever. It's just presenting the problem and then finding a solution. And I guarantee you, after you're done with that, you're going to be a lot happier. And you're both going to grow together.
Yeah.
Look at you were saying when you met him, he's like, oh, 2 years younger, you might be immature. Look at this guy.
He's
right?
very immature.
I love that. I mean, especially having that communication. It's also how you present that issue, right? It's not just that you presenting it. It's there's a certain way,
and how the partner's interpreting what you're bringing to the table, because they also need to be able to comprehend what you guys are talking about.
That's where you can be angry and you can be passionate. You can't be too passionate when you're arguing.
But you also need, and what I'm sorry, but it's what you just said, like you wouldn't want to talk. There's a boundary that's respected, but it's also open to crossing, because you may not be able to talk, and he's like, well, I want to talk.
Right.
So are you willing to talk? Yeah, I'm willing to talk. If you want to talk, I'll talk. That's like perfect. Let's talk about
I
it.
would talk about
But
it.
like if you don't want to, like he wants to bring it up, but you're like waiting. Like he'll wait until you're ready. But it's also like you're also willing and open to saying like, okay, we do need to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's okay, because it creates a good dynamic.
Yeah.
You know, because when you have two people that are exactly the same, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
So
no, it's not good either, because imagine if we would both get frustrated and we wouldn't talk. Like, you know, like that's not good either.
Then it becomes aggressive, or you know, when you can't really express with words, then you start cursing.
Yeah.
Like I've never even like cursed. Like it's I think
important.
Nothing gets bottled up. Like it's like, because then you put it under the rug, you brush it under. We had the example the other day. You brush it, and then eventually you trip over it. It all comes out because of, I don't know, he forgot to put a spoon in the thing, and it's like, what the fuck? Also, your mom's a whore because of whatever, and you're like, remember 3 years ago? It's just a spoon.
And that's also a good thing when you talk about things that happen at the moment and at the spot. They never have the right to bring it up.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure of that, because after you diffuse that problem, then a couple months go by, then she mentions, hey, remember? And I'm like, okay, hold on. Remember when we spoke about it 3 months ago and we found the solution? There's no reason to bring it up. And then you move forward. And that's how you diffuse that. And then you solve the problem that you're having at that moment, not the 5 problems that happened, you know, in the past.
And to what we spoke about earlier, it's also like what we had said, where you dated a lot, where you would learn about different things of how to handle situations. It's almost like he's always saying, hey, there are different things that we need to talk about. If we don't talk about it, then we're going to be that relationship that never talks about anything. And then one thing happens and we explode. Like it's always something new, a new challenge, a new situation that needs to be discussed, where both of you are learning with each other as you guys talk about it.
And not only problems, you know, she has problems that like not problems with us.
But
it can be anything. Like we may disagree on something about her business.
Sure.
Or she may disagree about the way that I'm you know, taking a new client or whatever. It can be anything, right? But I think that we feed off each other, and she gives me a lot of ideas, and obviously, you know, I try to support her as much as I can.
It also, I've been dying to say this, I was waiting for the right time, was when we're talking about like the dynamics of the relationship, like maybe you go home or he's before he makes the rice, but it goes into also this of the feedback that you're giving each other. Selfless contribution, I think is the most important thing to the relationship, and that effort, because I want to contribute because I want it for you. It's not, I'm not getting anything out of it. I just know it's going to benefit you. Subconsciously, it kind of does, because it betters the relationship, having the fluidity of conversation. But knowing that you're doing it for the intentions of her, or vice versa, where you're like, well, I want to help you on this because of that, or I want to put the rice to work, or you're doing the laundry. Well, okay, I want to clean the floor. Like, you're making me want to clean the floor now because you're doing that. Doing it because you want to for the relationship, I think it helps with that, putting in that effort constantly to always remind them like, hey, I'm your partner, this is our relationship, and we're doing this together.
I think to go piggyback off of that, doing it for the right reasons
as well.
The same thing when you start a business, is doing it for the right reasons. Like the same thing you did. You started this because you wanted to talk about relationships and because something that you liked.
Passion, and I believed in it.
Exactly. And that's how you guys started. And the same thing, you know, I want to be able for her to, like, when she comes home, she's coming home to a nice clean house, no dishes, you know, and when I come home, she wants, you know, she makes sure that I have clean clothes. You know, just to give you examples. So I think that, you know, being selfless, which I don't think that there's anything really selfless, because at the end of the day, you give yourself that gratification. Does that make sense?
But it's not because of that. It's almost that it's that rewarding feeling that you were able to provide that. That's like that subconscious side of it.
Exactly. So yeah, you're doing it selfless, but at the end of the day, you're also rewarding yourself in that sense of like,
Yeah, but you're not doing it with like, I know I'm gonna feel happy if I did this for her. It's almost like I want to do this for you, and then you're like,
yeah.
Dude.
That's exactly it.
I think a good way that would kind of encapsulates this whole process is empathy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
caring
Love
how
that
you
word.
feel about this person. How is this going to make her feel? And it's a bad situation. How would I feel? A good situation, you know, like in that case. So when you care about somebody, you want them to be good. You want them to come home to a clean house.
Yeah.
They had a rough day. You want them to come home to a nice dinner.
Yeah.
Things are doing great. You want to celebrate them.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an issue that she has at her job and she doesn't want a solution. She wants you to listen. Empathy.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
think it's
putting
important.
yourself
I like
in
that.
someone else's shoes and
That is
thinking
key.
like how would I feel if this was done to me, and
Exactly.
how would I react?
Yeah.
Would you be okay if you were doing this? If she was doing this to you?
Right,
Probably
right,
not.
right, right.
And guess what? I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, why would I do it then?
Exactly.
Type stuff.
Right.
So you were saying something?
No, I think like at least my home and my relationship, I know sometimes I compare my relationship to like friends, because you know you're always listening in, you're that person for them when they have to complain about something. Like, you know, I just don't understand, like my home, my relationship has to be a place of happiness and a place of peace. Like I have so many problems outside of my house where like I have business problems, things that are kind of like uncontrollable in a way. One thing you can control is how you have things at home. You know, the last thing I want is a partner that's going to be jealous, or a partner that's going to be yelling, or a partner that's going to be a mess. Like, you know, and I feel like you have to look for those things and make those decisions. That way you can have a well-rounded and a happy life, because I'm already stressed the hell out with work. Like the last thing I need is for me to get home and have more stress when I get home, you know? So I feel like picking and choosing is important. And if you're in a relationship where that's just not happening for you, like maybe you should evaluate, like, is it worth still being in that relationship?
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's okay. Like I think what blew my mind the other day was, you know, a friend of ours, a girlfriend, she told me, I've never been single my whole life and I would never be single. Like I rather cheat on my boyfriend until I find somebody new, rather than go be single. And I was just mind blown. Like I was like, girl, like why would you do that? Like why would you be in a unhappy relationship just to say you have a boyfriend? Or like why? I just don't understand that. Like I would much rather have peace at home and not be in a relationship at all. Like I used to like being single in a way. Like it was very hard for me to get in a relationship. So if I'm in a relationship, it's
because they want to,
it's because
because
I
you
want
want
to,
to.
and there's something there. If not, trust me, I wouldn't be in one. But there's people that are like that they
That's
would
crazy
rather
to
stay
me.
stuck
I
there.
got so annoyed just
Like-
listening to that.
Yeah, like
Who is this?
No,
I don't wanna say that.
I do want to know after. I want to bring her on and be like,
What the fuck?
what's going through your mind? Yeah,
Well, I
like
think
it's just insane.
It's just people that don't want to be single. And
I'm
that's
alone.
But what's
I'm
wrong
sorry.
with it? Like,
Yes, they
there's
don't wanna
nothing
be
wrong
alone.
with it.
No, there's a difference between being single and being alone.
Yeah.
If you're single, you're comfortable being alone because, you know, if you want to,
Right.
you don't have to rely on anyone else.
Right.
But being alone, it's like, I have no one.
I think there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Because I love
Yeah.
being alone, but that's not
True,
being
okay,
being
okay.
alone is not the same as being lonely. You know,
I love how we're peeling off the layers.
I know. It's like, no,
Dissect
fuck you. This is the right.
no.
Yeah, cool.
All right, we'll
Fuck
go
you.
with Marvin. All right.
Yeah, right?
No. I 100% get what Chris was saying. But I mean, I like my peace. And it's not being single because you could do whatever you want or whatever, or
Right.
mess around with other
Right.
people. It's just, man, that solitude that you have, especially when you're happy with yourself, when you
Yes.
know who you are.
Yeah.
I love coming home to like a quiet house, nobody to bother you. It's peaceful. I like that, and that's how a relationship should feel. Your partner should bring you peace.
Yeah.
Right.
Should make you better. What's the point of being with somebody when you're constantly fighting,
Crying,
arguing,
stressed, yeah.
jealousy, indecisiveness? You're not sure if you want to stay or go, bro. For that, I mean,
Pros and cons, bro.
Pros
Make
and
that
cons,
list,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Make that list.
It's kind of the same thing I said. Just different. No, but crap. No, I forgot what I was gonna say.
let me see. There you go.
Damn. The whole time I'm like, I hate this guy.
He's like, fuck.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
So just to piggyback off of that, so being in a relationship,
Oh, I remember. No, but go. No.
Go.
So-
I'm gonna forget.
go.
No. Go.
I'm sorry.
Go.
So I think you got to find a good balance between having a relationship and finding peace, right? So you obviously both got to give each other the good amount of space, bro. Everything needs to be. I don't want to say perfect because nothing's perfect, but you got to have the right balance. right? So if she's working, I'm not bothering her. You know, if I'm working, she's like, it'll be like 8 hours I'm gonna shoot. You know, we'll text like once or twice, just because I want to be able to talk to her, and I'm sure she wants to talk to me, right? And then, but you know, it's just giving each other that space. And obviously, when we come home at night, then we're excited to see each other. Hey, what are we gonna cook? You know, things like that.
How was your
and
day?
It's, right, coexisting. I think it's key.
Good. So what I was gonna say is, you know, you are you before you met her, and you were
Yeah.
you before you met him.
Yes.
And if you forget that and become one, and people think, well, yeah, I want to have that with. It's beautiful to have that with someone, but don't forget that you were someone
Yeah.
before that person.
If
So
you
when
try-
you lose
yeah.
that, it's when who are you when you don't have this person anymore?
You can always fake it for very little time.
Yeah.
So when you start a relationship, you always try to be this perfect person.
Yeah.
But that's gonna last 2 months,
Yeah.
you know. And then when the fire goes out, right? Then oh my God, who is this person?
What happened?
What happened? I think you always got to be the same,
Yeah.
and you can't really try to act like somebody else for that person, because, you know, if you really, you should always be yourself.
Yeah, especially when in dating, that maybe like you want to be more to impress that person, but
Yeah.
what is that gonna like down the line? You're gonna realize like, yo, I can't keep up putting
Yeah.
like this
Like-
is too
like if-
much. This isn't me.
If
Why do I
if
want to be
try
with someone?
If you try
Yeah.
to take her to like a super expensive restaurant, right, and then it's like, damn, like
It's unsustainable.
that's
Yeah.
us, right? Like, just take-
Now that's the expectation now.
Right.
Exactly. And I don't think, bro, like even girls and guys, I think we're very much alike. Like, especially her, like they don't expect much, as long as you have the right intentions, the
Yeah.
right reasons, and even the smallest details can be the biggest.
Yeah.
You know.
And I want to start getting
Yeah.
into the direction of wrapping it up. Good.
Yeah.
So really quick, I wanted to ask you guys. So what's next for you guys? I guess individually when it comes to your own businesses, and then obviously together, if there is anything for the relationship.
Yeah. So business wise, continue to grow House of Jewels. Hopefully by next year we can have a much bigger warehouse. I recently invested in 2 new different businesses. So launch those. Maybe have a one-stop shop. My dream for next year is to have a huge warehouse and have all 3 of my businesses there,
That's awesome.
thriving,
dope.
running and thriving.
An
there.
in-house photographer.
And an in-house,
Nice.
content studio with the photographer
And a podcast studio too.
Yeah, a
Extra room.
podcast.
What's extra room?
Yeah, and in terms of relationship, I would say our first, right now we're living together, but buy our first investment properties together.
I like that.
Then buy our dream house. I mean, right now we're investing in so many things, kind of
Yeah.
making those sacrifices and taking those risks now. And then we're okay with, not having our own paid off house. We would rather live below our means now, and then in a few years
Have
buy
that money
the
work
house of
for
our
you.
dreams,
Yeah.
right? So hopefully that can happen for us soon.
Yeah.
And no kids yet. I'm
Okay.
none of that yet.
Wait, not yet.
Okay, go.
I wanna talk about
Yes.
you. So what for at least for you and your business, and then we'll
Yeah. I mean, I'm just following, basically I just keep growing CG Media. My thing with this, I want to get as many clients as I can, and then eventually start hiring people. But I think it's very hard to hire photographers to work under you, because if they're good enough, then they just have their own thing. So it definitely comes with the learning and all that, and that's not something that I can afford right now.
Yeah.
But I know eventually I'm gonna have to. So eventually, what I want with CG Media is, yeah,
What if you were to say, I don't want to call them interns, but if you were, because I know that you were doing the whole creative space on YouTube, like
Yeah.
that stuff. What if you were to say, hey, I'm going to either a course or something or one-on-one trainings that they can help you do your projects. They get the experience, you get the job done, whether it's a big project, and then.
it's just it's hard when, like, right now I don't think I can spend any time teaching anybody anything, or even making a course for people, just because I don't have the time.
Yeah.
But I think eventually I would like to have a media production company
Nice.
where we outsource different, like, a commercial creative content for either restaurants, businesses, and obviously that requires employees.
Yeah.
So it's gonna get to a point where I'm gonna have to hire other people. Which right now, I mean, I'm working with like 2 guys, you know, that like they want to learn and things like that, but it's not very concrete just because I'm like so busy. I can't.
Yeah, what I see for you is I think that as you continue building yourself and building your platform and your brand, eventually it's going to be like, man, I want to work with Chris. You know, in CG Media, like it would be an honor.
Yeah,
an honor. Yeah,
to work.
That's what's happening.
While you, so you'll get maybe like
Yeah.
early photographers or content creators or
Yeah.
videographers that
Yeah.
say, hey, you know, I have you have your own projects. Maybe it's like a $5,000, $10,000 contract. Who knows? You need a team of 5. And then you have people who've already bought. Maybe you created a course that they buy your course, they're preliminary.
Yeah.
But we can work one-on-one, and then you get pretty much pick your best pupils
I
to
guess,
work
yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
And then they pay you while you're getting paid. And then you live on a yacht, you know, while she's making jewelry on it.
Hope so.
The good thing is also that you're networking. You have a lot of connections, and then especially young. I think what you need is young hustlers, like young kids, college, 18, 19, 20 years old, who want to do this.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, look, this guy Chris, you know, Finca.
You need a
all these
course,
other
dude.
restaurants.
No.
You need a course.
Eventually, look, I'm gonna be, you know, obviously taking the business aspect of it. I'm gonna make it a lot more digital. Like I'm gonna start, you know, dropping presets and obviously in doing courses and things like that. But you know, going back to having pupils and employees and going back to what we were saying, not that many people are gonna have the same drive as you.
Sure.
Like, bro, like I'll tell, you know, this person, like, go on YouTube. Not many people are willing to spend 10, 12 hours a day on YouTube learning.
Yeah, but to their point is they want to learn from you. They don't want to go to YouTube and
That's
learn.
what I'm saying.
They
Like
want to
you-
learn
No, because
from you.
if I bought your course, I've
Right.
already invested now in myself. Where it's like, if I pay for, they work one-on-one with me, or I have a project where I'm working with people,
Right.
and if I pay you to be there, motherfucker, I'm gonna show up.
No, yeah. I mean, I would obviously needs to have a course.
Yeah.
that's what he's
Before
saying.
that happens.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you know, you can't. But I wouldn't like not have like I don't need a course to work with other
No,
people.
no,
You know,
absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Like,
I just
I want to be able to work with talented individuals, and
Yeah.
I don't have to teach them anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I taught myself everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
I'm just trying to put money in your pocket, son.
No, I know.
Give me an
But-
idea.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Even
But
like-
the idea is, you know, it's definitely hard.
Yeah,
and,
no, I
and-
understand.
And you definitely need time.
But you could do it.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can do it.
1,000%.
no excuses. You
No,
can do it.
no, 1,000%.
It's all
You see?
hard.
Let's go. No excuses. So yeah, so eventually that's where I want to head. You know,
Yeah.
make more creative content at a larger scale for sure.
100%. Your future, both of your futures is bright. I'm super excited for the both.
I love it.
Thank you.
I
And
did-
for you guys.
Yeah, thank
you
you,
guys.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Slowly, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
We did want to wrap it up, but we did 2 things that came up that I think we were both in
Yeah.
agreement for. You said no kids, and so we just wanted to kind of ask, and this is more general, to kind of get feedback.
Yeah.
What's your take on marriage and kids, especially both of you guys being together in a relationship
Yeah.
as well as entrepreneurs?
You wanna- yeah.
So I do want to get married. I don't want a wedding, but I do.
Okay.
I
Okay.
do want to get married. And kids, right now I'm just so busy. I feel like I'm not in the right position to
Yeah.
be a mom. The day
How old are you?
I'm 28. I know.
You don't have any like pressure, the societal,
All
and
the
like
time.
timeline?
My mom,
Your
hey, when are
mom's
you gonna
like,
give me grandkids? I
Yeah.
want to be a grandma already. I'm like, I have 2 older siblings. Like,
Yeah.
you can start there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, my
I'm-
mom, y los niños va cuando, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting to that age that they start. So.
Yeah. I mean, maybe like at 30, like I can start looking. I mean, I just want to be financially stable, and
Okay.
and the day that I do have kids, I want to be able to afford a nanny. Like, and having a nanny is like having a full-time employee.
Nah,
You know,
right.
because I don't want to be one of those moms that, you know, like, not that I wouldn't like being a mom. I would love being a mom, but I don't want to lose myself to be a mom. Like, I still want to be able to work and follow my passion, follow my dreams, and then come home at night and be there. I've never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Like,
Okay.
that's just not in my,
yeah.
like, I really do like working, and
Yeah.
like,
And that's one of the things I love about her.
yeah.
Like she's very ambitious.
Yeah,
And that's,
Yeah. And I just feel like bringing a kid in now is just kind of gonna, like, I'm not gonna be able to be the mom that I want to be for that kid, you know? So I'd rather wait till like I'm 30, 31. I'll still be young.
Yeah.
You know, there's women now having kids still at like 35, 36,
Yeah,
late
of course.
30s. So,
yeah, it's definitely coming.
but before that,
Not-
In the
not
right
now.
direction, though.
Yeah.
We're in that direction.
yeah, but before that, I mean, well, I'm okay with, marriage and all those things
But
that
no,
needs to happen
but-
before that.
So yes, married, but no. You said no to the ceremony, no to the what was it? No to the wedding. The wedding.
She's
Yeah.
always said
How come, yeah.
this is the type of person that she is.
Ah,
You ready?
okay,
You ready
okay.
for this?
Let's do it.
I'm
All
listening.
right. So she says, I'd rather spend the $30,000 that we're gonna spend on a wedding and buy an investment property.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about.
You got any sisters?
Yeah, man.
I did, but she's
So
married.
obviously I fell in love after she said that.
Oh my god.
Oh
No,
my
but it was-
God.
I love that.
Beautiful.
And I just think, I mean, everyone that has a ceremony, have a wedding, it's great and all.
Of course.
But I'm not gonna.
But dude,
like-
at the end of the day,
What?
this is the way that I think about it. You're gonna have this ceremony, and people are still gonna talk shit about your
What
wedding.
do people do at
you know?
weddings? Talk shit. Oh, the food
Yeah.
was bad. The
Yeah,
music
yeah.
it ended
Yeah,
too
you
short.
invite people you don't even like half the
You
time.
don't
yeah,
like,
you
exactly.
have that family you don't even talk to.
Yeah.
Oh my
like,
god, her
you know.
dress looked like shit. It's like
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're kind of doing it for other people
Yeah.
and not for yourselves.
100%.
Yeah.
So I think having a nice, obviously I'm sure we'll still have a nice
A
ceremony.
nice dinner, maybe
but-
like something at a house,
Yeah.
rent a
Right.
really nice house and do like a dinner with my close family
Close
back
friends,
there.
yeah.
If we can get a good destination wedding, 10, 15K, okay, but I'm definitely not spending 30, 40, 50K on
Yeah.
a wedding.
Like,
Wow.
dude, like, look, I know
No.
someone who who got a personal loan,
Yeah,
$40,000 in personal loan
No.
to make their dream wedding.
right.
And again,
Yeah.
that's their dream wedding, and that's completely fine.
True,
If they want to take on all that interest and all that, that's gonna build up
For one night, 4 hours.
I know
one
someone who
night.
sold one of his houses to pay for his daughter's wedding.
Oh man.
Like you know what it is to sell a property,
But
and
that's-
obviously
but-
he didn't get all of the value. Like
Yeah.
the
But
loan
that's
was paid
different.
off. He got
That's
the difference.
different. That's
Because
and
your
I'm gonna challenge you on that. So that's very different. So it was the father.
Sure.
Yeah, but
It's not. No, I understand. And he sold one of the houses.
Yeah,
that's,
but it's-
that's still pretty extreme. Okay, never mind.
Sell a house.
Let me take that back.
My daughter's getting
That is
married. We
true.
gotta sell the house.
Yeah.
Sell the house.
That's
it's like
crazy.
No,
Dream-
but not. But how
What
many
if they break
houses
up?
did he have?
No, he wasn't like that either. Like I think it was like maybe one investment property that he
Oh,
had that
okay.
was being paid off. Like it's not like he sold the house and got like 200 grand. It was like the loan was paid off and he was left with 50 or 30.
Oh, because the way
To
that you
put
said
that
it,
towards
the way
the
you said it
wedding.
was like, oh, he sold one of his houses. I'm
No.
like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Even then to sell, you know what it is to sell a house?
no,
For
that's
a
crazy.
wedding, that's one day. Oh.
Yeah, and what if it doesn't work? I don't know.
Yeah, you're like, fuck.
Right.
You-
Well,
if
and
I-
then the divorce?
If I'm selling the house, it's better work.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you imagine they break up the day after, bro?
Yeah.
Forget it. Really quick. So you don't really care about the big wedding, Jianni. But anything like in terms of a ring, is that something where? Because like a lot of women were like, oh, I want this flashy ring. Do you care for that? Not really.
Bro, she sells jewelry.
No, it's not gonna be one
Make
of
your own
mine.
ring.
Yeah, at the discount.
I mean, I've showed him already. This ring that I want is very simple, gold band with a nice little
Yeah.
rock. It doesn't have to be like,
How much is it? Do you know?
I don't know, but I think I've seen like 5,000.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not
What
too
is
sure.
it? You guys watch The Office? Have you
Of
seen-
course.
You know when he goes, oh, they say 3 years salary. That's right. Yeah, so what, 3 months salary? I think
3
it was?
months, I think. Or 6 months? I think it's 6
6
months.
months?
They say.
6 months.
Yeah, no.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
6 year salary.
Like-
poor Michael Scott.
No chance.
He is the greatest.
He is the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we do have to start wrapping it up. Before we finish off, we always have like a little final thoughts segment. So pretty much it's advice you'd give to your younger self, maybe that's something that you believe in, that's something that you live by, whatever it may be. You guys can go together, you guys can go one at a time. And once you do that, then we'll finish that and then we'll do a little, you guys can promote yourself and sell yourself where we can find you and stuff. So
Okay.
first, final thoughts, start with you and then we'll go with you or put together, however.
So final thoughts, I would say in terms of like your dream career, if you're at a place in your life where you're not happy and you're scared to make that jump, just do it. Trust me that you're going to look back on it and say, I wish I would have done this sooner. Just give it your all every day, show up every day, and the results will follow. And in terms of relationship, have fun. If you're young, you're still young, enjoy it. Don't always be seeking that person that's going to make you happy. Try to find happiness in someone else. Enjoy the process. Have fun. That way, when you are of an age and like, you're already going to be ready to settle down. You're already going to live your whole life and do everything that you wanted to do. So don't overthink it. And if it happens, then just let things flow. Don't force anything and, just let it be.
Go with the flow.
Easy,
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy. Stop overthinking.
I think to some, everything up. There's actually this quote by Denzel Washington. He actually did a motivational speech one time, and it's one of my favorite quotes. And it goes, ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. And it's crazy. I get chills every time that I say that to myself. And, you know, having a business and doing something that's worth having, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very hard, and it's going to require a lot of hardships. But that's good. You know, that having those hardships is what builds you. It's what makes your business, right. It's what takes your business to the next level. You know, when things are easy, you could be doing a lot more, you know,
That's
to make
true.
it. Yeah, dude.
Because then you get comfortable. You're like, oh, I could just do it later, and then maybe later never even comes.
That never happens.
You never grow from the hardship.
Like this is not easy. Preparing the content, the questions for today is not easy.
Editing.
Yeah,
came up with this.
Editing pain, yes.
Yeah, it's not, and it takes time. And then people sometimes are like, well, why are you wasting your time doing that? You know, those things are hard. Her business is hard. My business is hard. But that's great because now you know that you have something worth having.
Yeah.
And yeah, and other than that, just go with the flow, have fun. You know,
Enjoy. Life is short.
Life is short.
Yeah.
Life is short. Make it sweet. There's a song that
Is it?
yeah, life is short. Make it sweet.
All right. Well, this episode was definitely sweet. Thank you guys for coming on. You guys were tremendous.
Before sell yourselves. So you know where can
Yeah.
they find you? What do you do? And well, we know what you do, but where can we find you? And then also
go baby.
sell yourself. You can sell yourself to that camera, and both of you guys eventually.
Yeah, so you can find us at House of Jewels Miami for all things jewelry, and follow my personal page at Jianni Acosta on Instagram. I'll be dropping a course soon on how to launch your own online business. So if you want to follow the journey, follow me there at Jianni Acosta on Instagram.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And you can actually find me at cg.media for all my portfolio. And yeah, pretty much it. Pretty easy.
Yeah, his photography, if you look at it, even though he's been doing it for how long so far right now?
8 months. 8 months.
8 months.
Impeccable.
You will be
Yeah.
floored at the quality that he brings out. You do more commercial photography. That's the niche,
So
right?
mainly
Yeah, for
I focus on businesses, and I feel like photographers here in Miami, they focus more on models.
Yeah.
And
Sex sells, you know?
it definitely does.
But does it pay?
But
Yeah, it doesn't pay.
exactly. But then I think that's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
And she's always like told me, it's like, I mean, you know, you definitely got. I've always wanted to focus on business, and you know, and she's always like, told me the same thing, and I've always said to myself, I don't want to be an ass photographer. Does that make sense?
I don't want to be
He's like, why wouldn't you want to
An
be?
ass.
like
Right,
ass,
like-
like crap photography. Like
No.
as
No,
an
like
ass.
shooting
asses.
naked girls.
Oh,
Exactly.
Oh, they meant like
And
like
again-
a shitty, like I suck.
Oh.
I'm
ass.
It go- it's
no,
both.
no.
What you mean like a booty photographer?
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay, let's
booty.
call it that. You don't want to be a booty photographer just because. Look, man, if you see a fine girl, right, and she's not gonna pay the same way that a business is gonna pay, is like, dude, you're taking a picture of my ass, like, enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And again,
I'm
You're
not
lucky to
paying
be
you.
here.
you're
Yeah, I'm
lucky to
not
be here,
paying
bro.
you.
Just start snapping.
Yeah.
But it's like in my obviously it doesn't help my relationship being around that. But I didn't even want to be in there because I'm all about the money. Like at the end of the day, this is all a business. So focus on if you're an aspiring photographer, or definitely focus on the business side of it. Look for businesses because they require content every 30 days. And girls, they just gotta, fresh digitals, right?
Yeah.
Every once in a while, or like, oh, let's do a picture here, but then I won't see you the next.
Yeah,
the
because they'll
next
get
year.
another photographer.
You're right, for free. Who does it
Exactly.
for free or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, but if you get a business and they find value in you, I guarantee you're not as replaceable.
For sure.
Would you be upset if he was taking pictures of models? Would that make you feel uncomfortable?
I wouldn't like it.
You wouldn't like it?
That's
No.
a-
No.
That's a no for me.
Are you guys jealous with each other? You guys like we're a little bit comfortable, a little bit
No.
jealous.
No, I think we're comfortable, but I mean, like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I shoot girls' asses all day. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Like,
not something
they're
I,
like-
that's
Yeah.
not something I'd be proud of.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
to
it's
say,
not.
like, hello,
Yeah,
That's fair enough. Yeah, that's
exactly.
true.
But jealous, I don't think at all.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
It
You
was
guys-
amazing. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us.
Yeah, of
we
course.
appreciate it. And we're gonna put all your social medias in the description below. So.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for having us.
Of course,
It was
it
a
was an honor.
pleasure.
Thank you guys. So with that being said, it's time to break
Break up.
up.
Yeah.
Well, you guys can stay together, but
Yeah,
this
we're not
thing,
gonna stay
this
together.
thing, it's not working out
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. For those who are still here, please remember to like, subscribe, and that notification bell.
Exactly. Comment, how the episode, if you liked it, or whether or not, just give us the feedback.
All that good stuff. Social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, thecoffeebreakup.com.
Exactly. Website merch and all the stuff.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Yeah. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen,
thank you guys. Ciao.